Rather than large, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another transfer news video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal in transfers. There is a huge story on Jarrod Bowen. William Saliba is now 100% staying at Arsenal Football Club, as per the words of Mikel Arteta. We're going to be talking about Arsenal's 200 million debt. If you missed that one yesterday, do not worry. I'm going to be revisiting that story as well. More transfers from Edu and Mikel Arteta. Alexander Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. We need to talk about their performances last night, because I think the Manchester City duo is really going to add lots of quality to this Arsenal side. And to some extent, I think Thomas Tuchel was right. The commitment from Arsenal is also part of the quality. We are really a quality side now, and I'm really happy to be an Arsenal fan at the moment, and also an Arsenal fan content creator. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 800 likes. Subscribe to the podcast, but talk to me about Jarrod Bowen. So we are linked with a couple of wingers and forwards this summer. It looks like Jarrod Bowen was linked with Arsenal before. He's now back in the news together with Cody Gakpo and Leroy Sané. So those three, let's have a discussion in the comment section. If you were to sign one of them, Jarrod Bowen was absolutely flying with West Ham last campaign. Over 25 goal involvements for them in the Premier League, and was very key in their season overall, even in Europe. Cody Gakpo, we spoke about him. He is a magnificent talent on the left-hand side of the pitch. And also Leroy Sané, we know the relationship between him and Mikel Arteta, and we know the quality of that German right from Schalke 04. He's a quality player. So if we were to choose, which one actually works for us, which one backs up Saka well, but also provides that kind of competition, and then can cover for Gabriel Martinelli as well? Talk to me in the comment section. I need your opinions right now. Now let's start off with Jarrod Bowen, and talks from the Team News account yesterday, confirming that Jarrod Bowen is now back in talk. The Arsenal have renegotiated, or have reopened negotiations between them and the representatives of Jarrod Bowen to see that they can sign the player. Now the account also confirms that this is not the first time Jarrod Bowen has been in talks, or the representatives of Jarrod Bowen have been in talks with Arsenal. It happened a month ago, when Arsenal were actually thinking about alternatives to Rafinha. So I think, what happened this summer, according to Ben Jacobs, Arsenal were interested in Leroy Sané, but then they quickly moved their interest to Rafinha when they thought Barcelona could actually fail to pay the money. So if Barca did not activate the Livers deal, which was which escalated their spending power, then Rafinha would have failed to join Barca, and probably Arsenal saw an advantage there. But to our own sad ending, they actually they have activated the Livers deals. I think 3 of them or 4 of them. I need to do more research on that one. Right now I'm not covering Barcelona, so back at doing that, taking Rafinha, it leaves Arsenal in a very different situation. Now we're looking for a player that can play in that area. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, this is what I want us to focus on. He has said that Arsenal will spend a lot of money on a new winger if they trust him. It is not going to be just another signing. They plan on making a marquee signing on that forward line, and they plan on bringing a player who is worth huge amounts of money. Now remember, also Dame Sheth from Sky Sports spoke about the same thing in a very similar way, saying that Arsenal spending huge amounts of money once again on another player, on another big signing, will not be and should not come as a surprise. So Jarrod Bowen is the guy. If you look at his contract, still on, I think around 2025. So you still have 3 more years to deal with when you're trying to buy him from West Ham. But we're also talking about a player that is very young and quality. So I think West Ham will be asking for a fee in the region of around 50 to 65 million pounds. The only fact that is English, it just creates that kind of premium that you have to pay, right? He's English, so you cannot buy him at 30 million. He's English, you cannot buy him at 40. It starts at 50 million. So Jarrod Bowen, how much? Oh, as well, let's get into the comment section and talk to me. How much do we pay for Jarrod Bowen? How much do you value him at? Because I've seen reports of 70 million. I've seen reports of 80 million, and now the likes of Raheem Sterling going for as low or as much as 50 million pounds. I think the English media are gonna go Raheem Sterling, who's 28, 29, is 50 million. Jarrod Bowen, who's the future of England, is going to be 70 million pounds. He should be 70 million pounds. And at times, these prices of these English players rise like that. It is the media trying to. Literally, they don't try to, but they actively do it. They just create a lot of beautiful narratives on these players, and you're never gonna buy them for cheap. So how much do you value Jarrod Bowen at? And if Arsenal are really gonna spend, is he the guy we need to be spending huge amounts of money on? But he's not a bad player anyway. We've talked about him on this channel multiple times. Last campaign, for me, he was by far West Ham's most important player on that forward line. If it's not for Declan Rice, he should be West Ham's most important player. Very, very consistent. He can play for you on the left wing, on the right wing, down to the middle. He's a very pacey guy. He's a very, very clinical finisher. And I think there is one thing I will talk about in the 6 things we learned from Arsenal Chelsea. But I think Bukayo Saka would actually need to learn from a player like Jarrod Bowen when it comes to finishing from the flanks. Saka is one player that is trusted a lot in that Arsenal team, and I've seen Partey, I've seen Odegaard, I've seen Zinchenko already. They try to look for him. They know the amount of quality he has as a player, but for me, when it comes to finishing, he actually lets himself down. I don't know why he tries to bury his body into the ground. I don't know why he tried to do that. I want him to open up his body. I want him to, open up his body and take a shot, with lots of power. Take a shot with lots of precision. Take a shot with lots of concentration on the ball. But he digs into the ground a lot, and much of the power, much of the energy actually is lost there. But I think Jarrod Bowen would be very good competition to Bukayo Saka. I don't think English media and English fans would really have a problem, because that means Jarrod Bowen would actually be competing with Bukayo Saka for the English spot, and maybe they would not really want that. They would want Jarrod Bowen to be starting for West Ham day in, day out, and then Saka to be starting for Arsenal day in, day out, and then probably have a call-up for both of them. But at the moment, Bowen needs to join Arsenal. Why? Because if he joins us, he has more chances to play in the in the World Cup. Who says no? Now, I was listening to TalkSport the other night, and someone said, I think it was it a United player, a United fan called Phil, and he was saying Justin Lingard has more chances of playing for England, of getting an England call-up, playing for Nottingham Forest, as compared to him playing for West Ham. And I said, stop your bullshit, cut out the crap. You're an absolute disgrace. If Jarrod Bowen is playing for West Ham and Saka is playing for Arsenal, Saka will get the call-up. As long as he's doing well, he will get the call-up. And don't be surprised if Emile Smith-Rowe plays 20 games in a campaign and he gets the call-up and Jarrod Bowen doesn't. I mean, the more you play at a top level, because this is top-level football. The World Cup is top-level football. The Euros is top-level football. So the more you play at the top level, the more you're ready to play for your club, to represent your country, because ultimately and definitely, it is not going to be a new stage for you altogether. And that's why I think Arsenal desperately need to get in Jarrod Bowen, but also Bowen desperately needs a switch to a club like Arsenal. You're guaranteed. It is guaranteed. Sooner or later, I think Ben White will be a massive centre-back for England. I think Saka is now a regular for quite some time now. Right from the Euros to the qualifiers of the World Cup, he's been a very, very key member of that of that Gareth Southgate squad. And Will Smith as well is developing very, very well. And I think he's had a few call-ups now. Eddie Nketiah, if he gets this season right, he will also have his call-up. So, in my opinion, Bowen needs Arsenal and Arsenal need Bowen. Talks are back on with the representatives of the player. Let's wait and see how that one will actually turn out. Now, William Saliba, according to Mikel Arteta, he's not going anywhere. we've sent him out. According to Mikel, we sent him out on loan to track his development process. We've actually seen that he's developed very well, and we want to keep on developing him further and further. Beautiful information. Absolute sense there. Absolute sense. Because for me, there is nothing better than keeping William Saliba this summer defensively. I don't know why. I don't even understand why Arsenal are fighting for another centre back with Tomiyasu around, Cedric around, and Ben White. That right back position is covered with Rob Holding, Ben White, and Saliba around. The right side centre back position is covered, and with Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba around, the left-sided centre back position is also covered. So I don't think Arsenal need to be fussing of that. But Saliba staying, guys, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. I'm telling you. So Edu and Mikel are working on more signings. People who have been asking me. I've already said this and I will say it again until the transfer window is over. We are still working on more signings. A winger, a central midfielder, a left-sided centre back are at the priority of Arsenal's transfer strategy at the moment. But don't be surprised if we bring in someone you've never heard of, like a right back. Yeah. Now as well, yesterday we talked about that 200 million debt from KSE. Now the situation. This is the situation. People were asking me, where are you getting this story? I said it was from The Athletic, and I shared excerpts of that. The story was done by the Ghana blog. We know that Ghana blog is a very, very popular writer for The Athletic now, especially covering Arsenal issues. So what is happening is that Arsenal have got a 200 million loan from KSE, right? That is Cronky Sports and Entertainment UK. That is the company that runs Arsenal, or under which Arsenal are. So they've given us 201.5 million in terms of debt, and that money should be paid back on 2 years' notice. So that means when the debt reaches 2 years, then we will start paying it back. But according to The Athletic, this money could actually rise as we're spending more money this summer. But they're saying the terms and conditions and the interest as well is not detrimental to the club, and there is nothing to be worried about. However, if the Cronkies decide to take this money all at once, it could put Arsenal's financial position in a precarious situation. I hope we do not sell any of these players that we're actually bringing in. I suggested one solution yesterday, and that is, if they want to take their money back, it's absolutely fine. We can go 2 years without 2 summers without spending any money, and that means we can be able to pay them at least 90 million euros per summer. That's 180 million euros, and then we can keep on servicing the debt. I don't think Kroenke will actually just take the money out. I think he will allow us to service the debt. I hope he really does that. Thank you, Uncle Kroenke. I was about to say a very bad word, but look, of course, Kroenke lending us money, it saves us from the financial fair play fiasco. I don't want Arsenal to be involved in that. Now, Alexander Zinchenko impressed very, very much on his debut. I wanted to talk about this as well. Guys, did you see him? He really impressed a lot, and I love that new role. I told you last campaign that Kieran Tierney has started picking up a new role into the elbow system, where he's playing right from the center, going forward. Defensively, he doesn't have to do a lot unless Arsenal fail to win the ball back high up the pitch. You saw it yesterday. We're trying to press very, very high up the pitch and winning the ball back, before it crosses the middle of the park. So Alexander Zinchenko in that role alongside Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka, I really loved it, and really he's absolutely settling very well in Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus also, I think he will not disappoint us. He will not disappoint us. So I think the Manchester City duo will actually do wonders at Arsenal. See you soon. We'll be talking about Mikel Arteta on Stand Kroenke, promising that the Cronkies are going to back Arsenal all the way through let's wait for that video coming up very, very soon.